Hello, coming to you after day 4 of the Kleiman Wright trial. Today we saw the continued cross-examination of Ira Kleiman. And today Ira caused a little bit of commotion in the court by mentioning that there is an email and a piece of evidence that was not introduced in discovery that adds further bolstering of the claim that Dave was a partner in creating Bitcoin alongside Craig Wright. After this, we saw counsel from both sides kind of stop and want to speak with the judge, and we'll see what happens and if this evidence eventually comes out. In addition, we also saw Craig's lawyers ask Ira a series of very specific questions about the nature of what Ira knew about Bitcoin from Dave, not just whether Dave was a partner. And what we think is they could be setting up a strategy where they kind of compare Ira's answers alongside some pieces of new evidence around Dave and Craig's relationship, or perhaps Craig's specific involvement in the creation of Bitcoin. So after today, we think there's a marginally greater chance that there will be evidence that comes out over the next 2-3 weeks that Craig was the creator of Bitcoin or instrumental in the creation of Bitcoin alongside others. We think it's much more likely the former, but we shall see. And ultimately, today doesn't really change much, but potentially foreshadows in an interesting way what could come over the coming days. In addition to commotion in the courts, we saw an interesting tweet thread where CoinDesk, they sent a reporter for a month to cover the Craig Wright trial in Florida. And we saw Alan Silbert, who is the brother of Barry Silbert, who is the chairman and founder of Digital Currency Group, which owns CoinDesk, the most popular and well-read crypto news site, say that, wow, how could you have this headline go out there? This is really garbage. And I just want to take a moment to commend CoinDesk for, while I haven't been a big fan of their coverage in the past on the BSV ecosystem, and especially on Craig Wright and the question of Satoshi specifically, I want to commend them for kind of covering this and doing so in a much more fair and balanced way than they have in the past. And I think it's a good sign where if the brother of the owner and founder of kind of who owns the newsroom has a problem and it still stays up, that's showing there's definitely progress in kind of the world of crypto journalism. So how does all this affect the positions at Unbounded Capital, the trades that we have, the folks here that are listening, watching, that are long BSV or long BTC? Well, in short, not much, but we think it's marginally more probable today that there will be meaningful evidence, which means there's a marginally greater probability of some big swings in the crypto market, where if the question of is Craig Satoshi, if that consensus view looks very different, we expect a significantly higher price in the price of BSV and a meaningfully lower price in the price of BTC, and as a result, much of the rest of the crypto market. What those percentage gains or losses could look like, that's really just speculation at this point, and we look forward to hopefully seeing what those exact numbers will actually be over the coming weeks. Thank you for listening, and we'll be with you tomorrow after day 5 of the Kleiman Wright trial.